Good morning, Flossstube. I am Tamara. I am PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram. This is a channel about cross-stitch. For those of you who may be new here, the reason I am PD Stitcher is because I live in the PD region of South Carolina, which is about an hour inland from Myrtle Beach. Most people are familiar with Myrtle Beach, so that's the easiest way to kind of give you an idea of where I live. The heavy sighing you hear in the background would be Milo. He is right down here behind me on the floor. I've left the door open this week. For those of you who are returning, you know that Milo likes to go in and out as I film these. So I'm just going to see if maybe leaving the door open will be less of a issue than having it closed and needing to stop to let him in and out. Buster is over there on the bed next to the window. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I hope you will stick around. There goes Milo. He's going to join Buster probably up on the bed so that he can get a better nap than on the floor. As I was saying, if you are new here, welcome. I hope you will stick around. If you see something you like, if you decide this is a place you want to hang out every couple of weeks, hit that subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. I love getting to know my fellow cross-stitchers. If you are returning, welcome back. I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendships, the likes, the comments, the subscribes, all of that stuff. If you were here last time, I've lost my purple cast. I am now out of my cast. I've never broken a bone before this, and I did not realize how stiff my joints would be getting out of that cast after having been in it for 3.5 weeks. So I can't really bend. That's as far as I can bend my. This one I can bend all the way down. This one I can get there, and I can't bend it backwards at all. And the goal is, according to my orthopedist, I have a follow-up visit in 3 weeks. And but if I can make a complete fist with no pain, I can cancel my visit. So I just have that little bit to go to be able to make a fist. So I'm very excited. It's been off since Tuesday, and on Tuesday I couldn't really bend it more than that. So I'm a little bit better off. So I will tell you, they didn't give me any rehab exercises or anything to do to strengthen that hand back, which kind of surprised me a little bit. Excuse me. The best rehab I think I've done for my hand and getting it to tighten is holding my Q-snap. I have been using my Lowry stand while my hand was in the cast, but I've been using just holding my Q-snap in my hand, and having to grip that has really helped kind of loosen up the tightness in my fingers. Now, I've read that the mobility in my wrist could take up to 2 years because I do have some arthritis in my joints, and have since I was probably in my 20s, so it's been a while. And I've read that can take a little longer. Changed the setup a little bit. As you can see, the door is open. I've got my basket with my whips, or works in progress, for those of you who are new to the cross-stitch vernacular here on Flossstube. And I've got them on a little table next to me, and we'll see if that will help me stay a little bit more organized, keep things from getting everywhere, and also keep me from having to like duck out of view every few minutes to pick up another project. So let's get started. I have no notes today. We'll see how that works. I missed last week. It was busy last weekend. It was Father's Day on Sunday. Also, I worked all day for Saturday and Sunday, 7:30 to 4:30 or 5, both days. For those of you who are new, I am an office assistant for our city's athletics and sports tourism department, and we hosted the state track meet at our city track last weekend. So I was there. I was there helping, doing what needed to be done. Sometimes that meant helping guide little ones off the track after they finish their race, because it goes, the ages are from 6 to 17, and this little 6, 7, and 8-year-olds, they just don't know when they finish a race how to get off the track because they're just tired from running. So guiding them off, getting them to parents, directing people to the bathrooms, to the concession stands, things like that. But it was fun. It was a long weekend. I had Monday off, and I was very grateful for that. So let's see what I have. I don't have any finishes. I don't have any new starts. It's been a kind of boring 3 weeks. But I do have a lot of works in progress, a lot of WIPs. This basket is full. So the first one is in a So Much to Love. I want to call it a peacock bag because the colors remind me of a peacock, but those are all flowers. So it might be my floral peacock. The inside is just a purple plaid, but oh, it's so pretty. So this is Pandemic from Long Dog Sampler. This is what it is going to look like. And this is where it was the last time I showed you. I am stitching this. I've got all my notes, well, not my notes, but like my fabric list and all that stuff is on my computer. This is being stitched on 40 count Week Style Works Angel Hair. I did prep by unzipping everything. I did not prep by like refolding these so that it's easier to show you. So here's where it is now. I am doing this with DMCs in a color palette I got from colorpalettes.com. It's teals and blues. And I'm not really sure how far I've gotten. I didn't really look at my pattern keeper to see what it said, but not very far. I really should put more work into this. I love working on it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why I don't work on it more. And this needle minder is Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's from Creatively Crafting. So because both boys are in here with me, I will be folding and putting back in bags. Because one of them, who shall remain nameless, I've named him before, he likes to eat floss. He, if I have hanging threads that I've parked, I have to make sure I put my piece up or he will eat the threads that are hanging down. He also eats socks and anything else he can find, toilet paper holders, all kinds of stuff he eats. If he can ingest it, he will. Alright, the next one up is in an Amazon bag. And this is the Christmas Village stocking. Boys, shh. This is from Kooler Design Studio, and it is being stitched on 28 count antique white Monaco. I'm not a big fan of Monaco. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But here is what it's going to look like when it's done. And here is where it was the last time I showed you. I don't like Monaco. It is stiff. It really feels like I'm stitching on Aida, the old-timey Aida, the crunchy Aida. I know a lot of Aida now that there's more companies that are hand dyeing and things like that. It's not as crunchy. This Monaco is crunchy and I don't like it. But I'm already this far in. So here's where it is now. All I did was fill in more of this white and finish off the metallic around where the name will go. This stocking is going to be for me. I've already done stockings, made stockings for all 5 of my children. And I've stitched one for my husband. I need to send it off to get it finished because I don't sew. I don't own a sewing machine. If I did own a sewing machine, I don't know how to use it. So I have to send it off to get it finished. But his stocking will be done for this Christmas. Maybe next year. However, Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, who is the brains behind the Whip Go group, she called the numbers for July's Whip Go, and one of the numbers is 500 stitches on Christmas Village stocking. So I'm very excited that I'll get at least 500 more stitches in that. Every little stitch counts, right? All right, my next one is in a Garon Totten bag with butterflies, moths. I'm not really sure what they are. I don't know if you can tell. I like teal. Teal is one of my favorite colors. I love these. And the inside is green floral. And this is Winter Wisdom. This is what it's going to look like. Ignore my fingernails. I really need to do them. I didn't do them, obviously, the whole time they were in the cast. And now I need to do them just because I want to make them feel pretty, because that my fingers still look like a little bit like little sausage dogs. This one is the most swollen compared to, although this hand looks swollen this morning too, so who knows? Maybe I'm just puffy. Maybe I'm just puffy. But I need to do my nails. Anyways, that was a bird trail. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is on 32 count Color and Cotton Harbor Gray. Here is where it was the last time I showed you. And here is where it is now. I finished the word wisdom. The last time I showed you, I had some of the W, but not all of the W, and then I finished the rest of the word, and I started in on this little border down here with the white. I took this to work with me. I had to work full days. Usually I work, I'm a part-time worker, so I work in the office from 8:30 to 2 every day. But this past week I had to work a couple of days, full day, 8:30 to 5:30. Well, so that means I get a lunch break. So I took this to work on my lunch break and was able to get some stitches put in there. And I'm dropping stuff. I told y'all I was going to try not to drop out of your view, and then drop stuff and had to drop out of view. So, but that one's getting there. I say this about almost everything. I love all of my projects, but I have a lot of projects, so I want to put time in all of them, and that means I don't put enough time in my brain into any one particular piece. I don't know. Maybe I should stitch more monogamously, but then I get bored, so I'm not sure. All right, my next one is also in an Amazon bag. Apparently there is something out that window that Buster would like to join because he is whining to go out the window. We're on the second story. He's not going out the window. Buster, baby. Shh. I apologize if y'all can hear him. So this next one is Royal Nutcrackers by Bobbie G Designs. This is what it's going to look like. I'm so sorry. If y'all can hear that, I am so sorry. This is where it was the last time I showed you. And here it is now. This is on 32 count Picture This Plus Faun. This one I feel like I actually have gotten quite a bit done on. purple guy is almost all the way done. The teal one is more done than not done. And then the other still has some ways to go. But, and then I need to finish the border, obviously. But this one's looking pretty good. My needle minder came from, the 12 Days of Christmas box from Vicki at Stitch and Button. And y'all, if I forget to say a fabric name or any details, it will all be in the description box below. I will link, if I talk about somebody or where I bought something, it will also be linked below, if I can remember to do that. So, but this one, I want to say, no, it wasn't. I thought it was maybe a whip go call for June. It was not. I just got a lot of work done into it. That's not a bad thing. All right. I worked on a lot of different pieces this last 3 weeks. And I didn't even stitch for 3 days. Because I didn't stitch that whole weekend that I was working. Because I worked Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't stitch any of those days. So the fact that I've gotten this many whips touched is pretty impressive. This is a Barefoot Needle Art bag. My Patriotic Butterfly bag. And the inside are stars on a red background. They come with project tags that I don't fill out. Because I don't want to write on them. Because eventually I want to finish that project and want to use it for a different project. And then I'll have to get rid of the tag or mark out, and I'd just rather not write on it. I guess I'm weird like that. So this is Liberty. This was one of my June whip go calls. It was 500 stitches in this. And here it was the last time I showed you. And this is being stitched on 32 count Picture This Plus Heroic. And you can kind of see the red and blue in the fabric. And I've gotten a good bit more in that patriotic star with the kind of flag looking, and I finished all these little firecrackers. This looks deceptively small. I mean, it's not huge, but like I put in 500 stitches and didn't even finish this star. There's a lot of stitches in this. I don't know why I think that like a project like this, where I can see that like the star is full of stitches. There's a person, well, Abraham Lincoln. I do know who the person is. You know, there's a border. I seem to think that like, oh, this will take me like 2 days. No, it's going to take me about 2.5 years because of the way I stitch. I don't know why I think it's going to take me just a couple of days to finish a project. It doesn't ever. It just doesn't. But that's okay. I am a progress stitcher, not a product stitcher, which is probably good for me because I make progress. I do make progress. I don't have a lot of end product to show for it. But I also pick pieces because my next 3 are full covers that I'm going to show you. This is 3 Dolphins. You've obviously been able to see it because it's been sitting there. But this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And here it was where it was the last time I showed you. And as you could see from when it was sitting over there, this is where it is now. And I am, because this is on Pattern Keeper, I'm kind of color completing, doing cross country on a page. So here's the page that I'm working on, obviously. And so what I do is I go across on this page, find the next empty space, and pick that color. And then I work that color until I finish that thread. And then I pick the next empty space, and it may be the same color, and then I just keep going. Or it may be a different color, and then I pick that color and finish that thread. So that's how I end up with all of this down in here, because some of these colors just moved on down. This is a lot of, like, this blue. And I get bored really, really easy if I'm stitching the same color repeatedly. You would think, hey, that's easy stitching. It's a big block of color. Which is great for most people. Probably. Not me, because I get bored. I get bored with one color, and I want to switch it up. So then I put it away and work on a different piece so I can switch it up. And then I'll come back to it and stitch some more in that color later. So this will eventually, 30 years from now, this will be done. I'm gonna live forever, right? I'm gonna have all the time in the world to finish all of my projects. So the next one is, and that is being stitched on 28 count Easy Grid, 1/1. The next one is Christmas 2 by Ciro Marchetti. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is where it was the last time I showed you. And I didn't do a lot on this since the last time I showed you. This one I do not have on Pattern Keeper. I'm using a paper pattern. So for me, for this, it's easier to do the Royal Rose method, and that means a lot of parking. So lots of dangling threads. This is one that I have to keep away from the thread eater. So I finished across here, and I'm doing some here to finish up these 2 sets of blocks, and then I'll move down. This is my focus for the year, my focus piece. This month I did not reach my goal, and yes, I realize today is the 25th, so I still have today plus 5 more days of this month, but I have other pieces I want to touch this month, and I've already touched this one. So I had to decide, do I want to touch those 6 pieces that I haven't touched yet in the last 3 months, or do I want to finish my goal for this month? I'm halfway to the goal. I'm about 950 stitches in, and the goal is 2,000. I decided to work on the other pieces. This might get a lot more in July. I say might, I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling. It was hard for me to work on this when my hand was in the cast. It was very, very slow. The changing of threads, threading a needle with one hand, and I had these 3 fingers that I could kind of do like a pincher grip. That was hard. And so with all the confetti and all the changing of colors, it made it a little bit more difficult. I just got done telling you I like to change colors, which is great. I do. But not like every 2 stitches. So hold on just one moment. Okay, I think we're back. I'm not sure what's going on with Buster. He is having some attention needing issues. Hold on just one moment. Come here, baby. You want to come up here? No? You want to go up on the bed? He wants me to hold him, but he doesn't want to get in this chair because the chair rolls. So, and I can't pick him up. I still don't have enough strength in this hand to pick him up. He's about 40 pounds, which is about 20 pounds more than I can handle with 1.5 hands. So, all right, my last whip is Cardinal in the Snow. It is from X Squared Cross Stitch on Etsy. I don't think this is still on her Etsy page, but you can always reach out and ask her about it. I know a lot of people have asked me about this pattern and where I got it. That's where I've gotten it. I don't know if she's still selling it. So this is what it's going to look like when I'm done. And this is where it was the last time I showed you. And here is where it is now. I did a lot of this blue right in here. I'm still obviously in the background. But right here is the halfway mark for going across. So it's not much, well, it is much wider than this, but this is half, so it's not going to be wider than my Q-snap. So that's exciting. And from what when I've kind of looked ahead, this is also a paper pattern, so, but I'm not doing Royal Rose with this because there is less confetti and more blocks of color, so it's easier to see where the colors go, if that makes sense. Paper patterns with the Haid, or Heaven and Earth Designs, which is what Christmas 2 is, there's just so much confetti, and I'm afraid I'm going to miss a stitch of a color if I don't just go like a couple of blocks at a time. But this one I can do because there's big blocks of color. So this is where it is. But from what I'm looking ahead, I believe the Cardinal starts coming in right down in here. So I'm excited to have some red coming up when I get to the next row. So that is it for my works in progress. And the boys are wrestling behind me. You might be able to see like little tails and little faces. They're not hurting each other. They like to open mouth play a lot. Sometimes we do have to fuss and tell them it's too many teeth that they're using, and then they stop. But right now, apparently, they need to get some energy out. So I apologize for all the chaos behind me. What's next? I do have some stitchy acquisitions. So when I broke my hand, I broke it on a Tuesday. I took Wednesday off from work because I didn't sleep that night. I was tired. And so I took that day off from work. And then I did a little bit of retail therapy to help me feel a little better. I picked up some needle minders from Mad for Minders. I got a little watermelon gnome, which goes with my watermelon gnome pattern that I'm working on. I did not work on this month, but I'll be working on soon. And then I got this patriotic eagle, which I think is going to get put on my Liberty piece. And then this one, it says, cross stitch is the best part of my day. And sometimes it is. I love my job, I love my family, but I love my cross stitch time at the end of my day. It helps me kind of unwind from everything. So I'm excited now that I've showed these. I can put these on pieces because I have a few pieces that need some minders. And then I got my, this is kind of sad, I got my very last Fabric of the Month fabric from Grace Notes Fabrics. I've shared before that my youngest daughter had a lot of injuries this last year with wrestling and soccer, and then obviously I broke my hand, and my older girl, not my oldest girl, but my older girl had to go see a cardiologist, have an echocardiogram, and some other tests run after having some health issues in March. So we have a lot of doctor's bills, and I had to cut out some spending. So most of my even non-stitchy monthly bills, if it was not a necessity, I had to cut it out. So I've cut out my monthly Fabric of the Month. This was my last one. This is 80 count, not 80 count, Lord have mercy, 40 count linen in hazelnut cream. And y'all, isn't it beautiful? It's a nice, lovely neutral tan color with some, I don't know if it will let me pick up, but like right in here, you can kind of see there's like purple in it. You can kind of see. it's right on the crease, so it's hard to show you. But, like, there's a purple tone in it. It's just, oh, it's so pretty. And I'm sad that this is my last piece for a while. But I love their fabric, so I know that once we get the doctor's bills paid off and I can start doing a monthly club again, I will be going right back to Grace Notes Fabrics because I love their fabrics. So that's all of my stitchy acquisitions, not lots, like I said. However, I will be having a good bit soon, not Fabric of the Month, because that's like a monthly subscription thing. But my anniversary was not this past week, but the week before. Hold on just one moment. Anyways, as I was saying, my anniversary was a couple weeks ago, and my husband gave me a rather large gift certificate to 123 Stitch. And I've been debating on what I wanted to do with it. I have a few pieces that I want to fully kit up. And then I also have a long wish list of other patterns I want. So I was debating, do I want to get like a big piece and fully kit it up, and one of those like expensive type, like a mirror or something like that with lots of beads and stuff, or do I want to just kit up the patterns I have that I want to work on? Now I've decided I'm going to kit up the patterns I have, get them all kitted up, and then see what's left in the gift certificate, and maybe pick up some more patterns for future me. So I will have some stitchy acquisitions, probably not in the next video, in 2 weeks, because I haven't really like looked to see what all I need. I've just been busy. It's been busy. But I do need to kit up something, because so when Jessie Marie made her calls this morning, she called 3 numbers. One was 13, which is the center square. And for me, that's a free space, so I don't have to do anything for that space. It's filled in. And then she called 2 more numbers, because she says the way she does it is the month that she calls space number 13, because most people do have it as a free space, she will call 2 other numbers. That's how she gets 25 numbers called in a year. So one of those, like I said, was 500 stitches into Christmas Village stocking. I'm excited about that. The other one is 500 stitches into Giggles in the Snow, which is a Mirabilia. But I haven't started yet, because I don't have fabric. I haven't kitted it at all. But I knew I wanted to start it this year. Not this month, but this year. I wasn't sure when. So I guess I'm starting it in July. So I'm going to kit that one up. That will be the first thing that I kit up with my gift certificate. Hold on just one moment. Okay, they are apparently wide open this morning. Wow. So this is Giggles in the Snow, if you are not familiar with it. And I'm going to do both the boy and the girl together and do snow and then angel underneath them. I'm going to have to rechart that to make it centered, I think. I might not do the words at all. I haven't really decided. I might just do the children. But, so I need to kit this up. It calls for 32 count white linen. Okay. But I kind of want something sparkly, because it's them in the snow, and in my brain, not that we get snow often here in South Carolina, but in my brain, snow is kind of sparkly. So if you have any suggestions for a nice, like, iridescent white fabric, a particular dyer, a particular color, comment below. Just tell me what fabric you would suggest. Okay, so that's question number 1. Let me know what fabric I should get for that. An iridescent white. It can be kind of like a grayish white, but I kind of would like it to be more white because snow. Now, my birthday is coming up in August. I realize it's only June. That's I've got 2 months. But I want to do a birthday start. And I want people to help me pick. I told you I've been planning starts for this year. And now I want to know. So here's what I have. I have Hands-On Design, A Year of Celebrations. Do I start one of these? Madame Chantilly's Summer. Hands-On Designs, Home of the Brave. Cottage Garden Samplings, The Fox. Yes, I know. Everybody and their brother has already done this entire series, and I haven't even started because I don't tend to jump on the bandwagon with everybody else. I'm usually a beat behind. I don't know why. Or the last one is Hands-On Designs. I'm going to say the English one, Strawberries and Mint. But it's phrase a mint. I don't know. It's French. I took French in college. That was a long, long time ago. So which one should I do for my birthday start? And if you have one of these and you would like to start it with me, or you have already started it and you just want to stitch along with me for my birthday, let me know. That might help me make my decision a little bit better. So which one of these should I do for my birthday start in August? Comment below. Help me make a decision, because I'm not going to make one on my own. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at deciding. I kind of had thought I was going to do Giggles in the Snow for my birthday start. But then when it got called for the July Whitfield call, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll start it in July. Which kind of works because I wanted to work on winter and Christmassy things in July. And so, Christmas in July, Giggles in the Snow, while it's not Christmassy, it's wintry. I'll probably work on Winter Wisdom. I have a couple of other winter pieces that are not necessarily Christmas. I will also be working on some Christmas pieces. So, that is my cue. That, I might have to leave in a minute to find out where they went. But I think there's girls downstairs that can handle them. So, life. If you were only here for the stitching, thank you. And I'm going to talk a little bit, a couple minutes about life stuff, and then scoot out. But if you are only here for the stitching stuff and want to scoot out now, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, life. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I've shared a little bit of life stuff throughout, like what I was doing last weekend at the track meet. Well, at the track meet, my daughter who runs, she's now an adult, so I can say her name. Her name is Kaylin. She's going to be running for Clemson in the fall. She was helping at the meet, and she got sad because she had chosen not to compete in that race, in the meet, in any other races, and she missed it. She was watching everybody else compete, and she was like, I would like to run, because we just got the city track. It just was built and opened this year in April. And she had been running with our city track club since she was 10. And they'd always practiced at one of the local high schools. And the talk of getting a city track had been in the works, but this was the first year that it's opened. So she wanted to get to race one time on that track. So she went to the head, didn't tell me, she went to the head of the meet, director of the meet, asked if she could enter one of the races for Sunday. He said that was fine. They got her in. So she raced and broke the state record by 20 seconds. The person who held the state record has held it for a while. It's been there for several years. She also competed for Clemson after she had set that record, because that's the youth record. She went and ran for Clemson and is now a professional runner. So Kaylin was a little bit excited about being able to say, not that she beat that record, but that, she's at the same level that this lady was when she was Kaylin's age. So that's pretty exciting. My youngest is now a working girl. She got a job at Chick-fil-A and has been working several days a week. So that's kept her busy. And then she's got soccer coming up. She's going to a college ID camp in July one day, and she's going to be a sophomore this year, so it's time to start looking to see if she wants to compete and play soccer in college. Now's the time to start looking at that stuff. And I feel like it's just going to be like a blink of my eye, and I'm not going to have anybody left at home because they'll all be either in college or out in the working world. But that's what life is like. I've raised them so that they can go be independent. And if they are going to go be independent and are successful at that, then I did my job. So I'm excited for them, but it's still hard as a mama to see them grow up and move on. It's exciting to see them move on, but yeah, I'm gonna cry when I drop off my child at Clemson in a couple of weeks. We're not really sure when she goes. We have not gotten the move-in date yet. I believe it's like the second week of August. So yeah, I'll probably be a mess then. I have a month. All right, y'all. It's been so good chatting with you and sharing my cross stitch and a little bit of my life with y'all. Comment below. Help me pick my birthday start. Help me figure out what fabric I want to use for Giggles in the Snow. And y'all stay happy, stay healthy, keep stitching. Bye.